Okay, I've been sick the past couple of days and I feel like crap. And it's late, so I'm just gonna, I want to be consistent with programming, so even if it's just 5 minutes, try to get something done. Now, last episode, we totally jacked all our legal move highlight stuff and then we reverted it. But basically, we need to change how we render these highlights here. Yeah, we're actually not even getting, oh, well, let's print up, okay. So our legal move highlights, right here, legal move highlight, is acting correct. So we need to use that boolean to trigger whether or not we render the highlight. So right now, all the spots that are legal are getting their legal move highlight to true. Therefore, when we render them, if it's a legal move highlight, we render it. So they're all rendering at the same time, instead of only when we're hovering over them. So, and that's right here. These legal move highlight gets true, but we actually don't want to do it like that. Oh god. So yeah, it's like we need legal move highlight to only be true if it's a legal move and our mouse is over it. But all of this stuff, if we lock whatever our move locked selection is, we set not a legal move highlight, but a legal move boolean. So that should be in our occupant class. This is what we did yesterday and then totally botched it, but we need to do something with that. So not only do we have a legal move highlight, but we have a legal move. Okay. Now we need to switch all of our legal move highlights getting true to legal move getting true. This is what we did yesterday. That totally jacked everything, but we need to figure something else out, so. I know this is riveting. I don't want to control find replace this stuff because there's other legal move highlights that I don't want to just be replaced with legal move, so we gotta do it the fun way. So, if our move type is move, in our render function here, we render the first 3 stones, but we only render the occupant. We only render the occupant if it's a legal move highlight, or if the grid's move locked highlight. So I think we can keep this line. We just need to toggle this legal move highlight depending on our mouse. So right now, since we changed that to legal move, not legal move highlight, we should not render anything, any bright green legal move upon clicking. It should just be the dark gray for where we clicked. Yeah, or dark green, yeah. So the legal move highlight is now false there, but that's to be expected, because instead of printing this legal move highlight, we want to print right here, we want to print legal move or not. So now that should have the same effect as what the legal move highlight had once we hover over it, but it should still not render. We're just making sure our assumptions are correct. Legal move, yeah, see how legal move is false here, but it's true here, true here, true here, true here, and then false here, yeah, false everywhere else. Okay, so now we just need to do two things. We need to flip our legal move highlight for our grid occupants to be equal to true when we're hovering over them, if it's a legal move. And the other thing we need to do is change it to false if our mouse is not over it. So, oh God, let me just, because it felt straightforward to me yesterday too, and then we jacked everything up. So set selection highlight if mouse under cursor. So right here. So if it's no movement locked, we set that grid equal to this. If it's player 1. So we need to say, actually, so we update our grid based on our legal move, so we can, well, see, so there's two ways to go about this. I feel like it's like we either defer all of our legal move highlights to just highlight upon hovering over a legal move, which we currently aren't doing. What we are doing is saying, if no movement is locked and we've got stack control, flip that legal move highlight. Otherwise, it's not a legal move highlight. Now, once we click movement, no movement locked gets false as soon as we click something in our control. Is that right? We get no movement locked false as soon as we click. And see, this is still only if we click on a square that only has one occupant, which we need to fix ultimately, but should be fine for now. Okay, so where were we? Here. Okay, move type move. It's player 1 and no movement locked, and our mouse grid is equal to J and I, and that's because when we access the actual grid, we're changing the values of whatever our mouse grid is. So we need to do the case for, we need to do another case where see, and this is actually probably where we were fucking up, because this is, it's not highlighting the move. Okay, so this can be else, but we do need this other case. If our mouse X grid is equal to J and our mouse Y grid is equal to I, and not no movement locked, that's so stupid. then we need to, and now we don't need to check stack control because we just need to check whether or not it's a legal move with our boolean now. So we could say if the grid at that mouse hover location dot legal move is true. So if legal move, then we swap our highlight to true, and then we also need an else that swaps it to false when we're not hovering over it. So we're also swapping it to false if our no movement is locked, or if our, actually, yeah, maybe let me just turn this off real quick. Let me see. Shit, yeah, see, this is the kind of crap we were getting yesterday. Okay. Yes. Yes. Oh my god. Okay, we did it. 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 This is jacked. Let me see if it's broken. That's so weird. Oopsie. Yes. Okay, I'm still confused whether or not we need this. Yeah, we do. Okay. All right. Fuck yeah. Now, we need to do something where we don't flip it to be a legal move if that space is occupied with a capstone or a standing stone. It'd be really nice if we can get that implemented as well real quick. God damn, I'm tired. Okay. Okay. So, our move locked row. Okay, so we only need to flip this to legal move true if the occupant in that grid is not a capstone or a standing stone of any sort. So we need to go through what members one, which we ultimately need to go through whatever the top member or top stack control. No, not stop. Not top stack control. We just need to we need to do something where it's like we cycle through all the members in our occupant and we take whatever the highest stone is and we save that as a priority stone or something. But for right now, it's just the members one at this. Oh my god. Okay, well. Oh god. It's like we need to say... I wonder if we can just cycle through all the legal moves and then say if it's a capstone, because I'm trying not to put it under every instance here. I'm trying not to say, hey, if this move locked row -1 move locked column dot members bracket 1 is standing stone or capstone, do false. Not trying to do it for all of these, it's just that I feel like we need to cycle through all the grids. Goddamn. So I gets 1, 5. Then for J gets 1, 5. And then say cycle through all the grids and then say if the grid at IJ dot members brackets 1 dot stone type is equal to capstone, or if this stone type is equal to standing stone. Then we're actually going to flip that grid's legal move status to be equal to false. And then if we do it that way, we don't have to do it for every instance up here or whatever. So, what are the chances that worked? I've got just about no faith that that worked. Let's put a capstone. Let's put a standing stone. And then we'll put another standing stone, and we'll put a So we'll do this where we're gonna, it's black's turn. We're on a move type move. Now we're gonna click on this, and what should happen is the current bright green should go to the dark green for the locked move. And then we shouldn't render any of the legal move highlights when we hover over them for the capstone, or this capstone, or for this standing stone. We should only render the highlight when we're above this square. So let's see. So far so good. Doesn't render, doesn't render, doesn't render. Please render. Doesn't render. I'm wondering if we take out this, if we'll render it. Let me just see. Doesn't render. That's wild. What is changing? Come on, give me a break. The only difference was we started adding capstones. So it works fine there, but as soon as we add a capstone, What the heck is happening? As soon as we had a capstone, it's just not rendering. So that means we're not flipping our legal move highlight. Oh, I should have checked if our legal move was still getting set. So capstone. Legal move. Yeah, it says it's a legal move still, so I don't get why we're not rendering it if it's a capstone. What the heck? That's so weird that it's only working. It only works if we don't have a capstone in there, which is so weird. We must be doing something with legal move highlight based on our stone type, because that's the only other thing that's... Goddamn, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, lordy. That's so weird. I really don't know what's going on there. If we just place lay stones, we render like we should. But the second there is like, what if there's a capstone over here? Okay. Jeez, yeah, if there's any capstone, it just stops rendering. No matter what the legal move status is, because the legal move status is still correct. It's just not rendering. We should render if that grid, that's a legal move highlight. So legal move highlight is not getting set if it's a capstone for some reason. Where do we set legal move highlight? Right here, and move right here. If it's a legal move, then we set, and our mouse is over it, then we set move, legal move highlight. Oh, player two. We only did it for player one. We've got to also do it for player two. Duh. So we're gonna say we've got the no movement. This is jacked. Okay, and no movement locked, set the legal move highlight to true. Okay, so we need this else, but we also need the else if mouse grid is equal to J, mouse X grid is equal to J. So when we were testing, we were only testing with a black piece. What's so, yeah, that's so silly. It's like, anytime it was breaking, we ended up being on black's turn. Then anytime it was succeeding, it was on white's turn. So that's why it was so confusing to me, because I was assuming it was the same for both turns, and we just happened to test the perfectly wrong thing to determine our answer. But now we found it through looking, so. So if it's black's turn and we're hovering over our grid, then if that grid is a legal move, if that grid IJ is a legal move, then we set that legal move highlight at grid IJ to be true. And then we also need to set it to false if we're not hovering over it. So we would deselect, de-render, unrender. IJ. Okay. Now, I'm wondering if we go back to our, here, we turn this back on. We turn this back on where we nullify our legal move if the member 1 is a stone type of capstone or standing stone. So let's see. First of all, oopsie. What? Huh? 220? Oh, 277. We need an end here. Okay. So look, I'm gonna just place a capstone. Nice. It renders everything but the capstone. Heck yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. So standing stone, we're going to test a standing stone. We're going to test a capstone. So move type move. Now the only one, once we click, the only one that should highlight is this empty one. Actually. Yeah, let's do this. So once we click, the only one that should highlight as a legal move should be this one right beneath it. So legal move false, 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 and this should be true, true, and it highlights. Nice. All right. I can't believe we figured that out today. Now, we didn't really figure it out in the sense that, I mean, we got it working for as long as there's one member in the occupant. Once we start stacking, we got to do it different, but it seems to be working. So I'm really happy with that. We take a look at our get diff. We added a legal move boolean. We only flip our legal move highlight boolean according to the legal move. So if it's a legal move and we're hovering over it, flip it to true so it can highlight and render. Otherwise, don't render it. We do that for both player 1 and player 2. We changed that, so instead of just rendering all of them at the legal move highlight, we changed it to our legal move boolean instead, which allows us to toggle it. And then we make initially all the appropriate spaces a legal move, but then we go through and say, hey, if any of those members, and instead of locking in this members 1, we ultimately need to do a members stone priority. It's like whatever the highest stone is. If that whatever the highest stone is. I mean, it works now because there's only 1 in there, but since we don't have that feature implemented yet, we have to do it at 1 so that we can get it to work. But we say, hey, whatever the topmost stone is, if that stone type is a capstone or a standing stone, then nullify our legal move so that we don't render it. And then we just debug our legal move instead of legal move highlight. That's awesome. I get add with a commit message saying we fixed, or we added legal move bool and render legal move only legal move highlights Only if legal move. Okay. Get push. I'm very, very happy. Don't sound like it, but I'm really happy we figured that out. I mean, I was like pulling my hair out yesterday for it. Yeah, tomorrow. I don't know what is gonna go on tomorrow, but I'll be here programming. We'll figure out something. There's a ton of stuff to do still, so it's getting daunting. And I might be switching to Joust in a couple days to give myself a break from tech, and then, you know, come back to this kind of switch off projects depending on what I'm feeling that day or what I'm not feeling like dealing with. But yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow.